design presentation. My name is Stewart Bibby. I am the acting deputy head of school. Our school is based in two main buildings on the main campus, the Nicola de la Haye building and the Peter de Wint building. These are adjoining buildings where all of our practice, all of our learning, our workshops and our studios are based. Within those buildings, we train people to become designers, funnily enough, as a school of design. I like to think that we are all designers. We're all problem solving on a daily basis. But what we do within the school is hone those skills of lateral thinking and thinking on paper and developing a high experimental approach in both visual, verbal and practical skills development, so that our students, our graduates, can go on to work in the creative industries. People like the people that you see on screen now, each one of these people are from my own program area. I used to be the program leader for the product design course, and each one of these people have gone on to work in creative industries, be that in lighting design, in furniture design, in user experience, excuse me. They go on to work creatively in packaging, in graphic design, one of which my own daughters were really proud of. One of my graduates helped to develop the baby Groot figure for the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And these students come from our program areas, which range across 11 specialist study areas, from pre-degree with a bulk of undergraduate programs that we also house within the school, through to postgraduate study. Each of these you'll become a little bit more familiar with later on, and I'll give you some links to be able to speak to the people that teach on these programs directly later in the day. Our tutors from each of those programs are all either practicing designers, artists and designers, or have been practitioners in the past. My own background was furniture design, hence my development to become the product design program leader. But also from time to time, we make external visiting lecturers an important part of what we do. People like the ex-Gadget Show presenter Jason Bradbury came to work with me about 3 or 4 years ago and still does. And people like Jason really help us to connect with some of the specialisms within industry, along with our specialist tutors. But this year, Jason and I, through his contacts, developed a really strong working relationship between product design in the School of Design and also Samsung. And we ran a really successful competition project for product design students, not only to enter the competition, but really to engage with those industry specialists. We work with the creative design team, the advertisers, the marketing people in Samsung, and got really rich and strong feedback for our students to be able to progress. One of my aims now as deputy head of school is to run that kind of approach, that competition, across all of the programs you saw earlier, from the two-dimensional programs, illustration, graphics, creative advertising, through to our three-dimensional programs like product design. We're going to continue with that, but also in exhibitions and interiors. At the base of everything we do are our studios. We have a rich studio culture within the School of Design. We thrive on our ability to be able to get into studios, which are treated like a consultancy, really. They work like consultancies I've worked with in the past, where we encourage debate, we encourage rich conversations about creativity and moving ideas forward on a verbal basis, but also in terms of pinning up work, having a look at two-dimensional work, having a look at concept work, and developing approaches which really challenge our students' ability to communicate and also withstand strong critique. So our teaching has formal contact teaching elements through lectures, through seminars, through practical demonstrations, through labs, through workshops, but also through independent learning, where you may be working away from the studios in smaller groups, either with yourself and working on projects that staff have set you. Part of that will also include digital learning. As a result of some of the things that have happened more recently that we're all aware of, we've developed a stronger and stronger digital culture and working partnerships between school staff and students on the course to be able to work in studio and also out of studio. But in the main, our teaching takes place in our two-dimensional and three-dimensional areas where all students get a space to work and also to be able to communicate and develop and drop down into workshops within the two buildings I showed that you earlier that range from printmaking to practical manufacturing workshops to technology workshops. There are some 2D and 3D software workshops, but there are also 2D and 3D print and production workshops. There are also fantastic Mac suites, PC suites, computer suites across the school, which deal with two-dimensional digital software, so the Adobe suite, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, things you may be familiar with, but also teaching elements that progress that understanding of digital culture and move it into maybe 3D elements. The image you see below is probably the space where Baby Groot and things like that start to take shape, because we have software which will enable our three-dimensional students to really animate their ideas and bring them more to life. And as a result of that, we end up with our students entering and winning competitions. You see on the list there, one I've already mentioned, the Samsung King's Cross competition, which is going to grow this next year. I'm currently working with them to develop that. But also big student design competitions like the RSA, the British Institute of Interior Design Challenge, where our students not only are shortlisted, but they're winning these kind of competitions. We've already had success. I've been hearing of lots and lots and lots of success from late March through to even today, where our students are winning two-dimensional design, graphic design, packaging competitions, fashion competitions. On the bottom right there, our interior design students are picking up their award in late November, early December last year. And the mask on the top right is currently being considered for production and manufacture by the university itself. But that was the one that won the Samsung competition in late March, before the pandemic even started to take shape. What you see here are other examples from product design students and graphic design students of their creativity with text and font and image and packaging and interactive products like the Wally product that you see bottom left. And I mentioned, even today, I have just heard this morning that 6 of our creative advertising students have just won in the prestigious D&AD competition, where they win yellow pencils. So please be encouraged to go and have a look at those. We start our journey with students from things like today, where we have a virtual open day, where you make your first tentative steps in connecting with the university through to graduation. But even beyond, one of my new roles is to connect with our alumni. And again, I built relationships with all of the students on the screen here, graphic designers, creative advertisers, product designers, to help them to come back into the studios to give the benefit of their experience to our current students. In a little while, you'll be able to engage with our staff, our teaching staff on each of the programs, ask them questions about what they're going to need or what they're going to want to look at in your portfolio. And I've got 2 last things I'm going to ask of you. One, please do visit our final year showcase. Our students are exhibiting their work on the designlincoln.co.uk website. And lastly, please join us on the Unibuddy chat. I think the Unibuddy chat is open now. And in about 15-20 minutes time, each of our program teams will be giving a more individual and specific presentation about content on the course, what they do, and how they go about teaching. So please, they will give you an address and a link on the Unibuddy system. Log into that, have a chat with them, ask them some questions, and find out what the potential for you maybe joining one of our programs is. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.